best in the All-Father review. Hopefully, it is the Odin son, Thor, wielding the mighty Mjolnir. The Norse god of thunder crushes evil with his hammer. Alright, let's get to busting him open. Here is Thor out of the packaging. And, see, he is the biggest figure in the wave. And we'll take a look at his cape here. It's paint brushed in different colors to give off a shadow effect. And it is hard plastic, but I like the way the cape looks like it's rippling. Cape has a very cool effect. One thing about this figure, he's really tall, so he does go off the camera a lot. But the helmet is not removable, which is disappointing. That it's one of the reasons I didn't buy the Jubilee Wave Magneto. And I would have been okay with the helmet not being removable if it was his hair coming out the back. But pick up the camera here, show you. As you can see, that's not his hair coming out the back, because that is his hair on the side, and that looks like a cloth part of the helmet. So yeah. But other than that, this is a really great Thor figure, probably one of the best you can get at this point. And he does come with Mjolnir, of course. Don't ask me how I'm holding it. I guess I'm pretty worthy. So he also does come with a little place to put Mjolnir when he's not wielding it. But it is kind of, it's a weird little belt thing, and it just looks better in his hand. Putting Mjolnir down, there goes Machine Man, as I haven't put him back up yet on the shelf. We'll take a look at what this behemoth of a god has for articulation. So, yeah, his head doesn't go up or down, and there he goes off the camera again. You do get this much side to side, not a lot. And the arm does go about that high up. The cape does prohibit it, and it goes back and forth like that. There is bicep rotation, and he does have a one-jointed elbow, but it is one of those, I'm not sure what these joints are called, but I consider them the breaking the arm simulation joints, as you can go forward at almost a 90-degree angle, and you can also have the arm go backwards almost as if it's broken. And with Thor, it doesn't really make sense, but I do like, that is what I consider those joints. Now, the wrists do 360 rotation and a hinge. Now, taking a look, he has one of those, not ab crunches, they are, I'm trying to blink to the name, it's ab swivel or something like that. I don't know why I'm trying to blink to what these joints are called, but it does go back and forth like that. It does spin like that, and that is where you have the rotation there. You don't have any hip rotation or waist rotation. And good ab crunch for this figure, and obviously it doesn't go that far back because of the cape. His leg does that, but this is hard plastic here, so it does prohibit his movement. It does go out a lot more to the side, and there is a thigh rotation on the ball joint. It's just my figure, it's a little stiff. But the knee is double jointed, but it looks weird because of the way the knee guard is on his armor. But that is a double jointed knee. And his ankle is supposed to be a 360 rotation, but it is prohibited by these little plastic they're supposed to be a little metal clasp around his ankle, I guess. Does have an ankle hinge and no ankle pivot to be seen. So that is Thor. And now we are gonna do, if you were wondering where his sword accessory went, he does come with the sword along with Mjolnir and a piece to his father. We're taking a look at Odin. So, I don't really know of Thor using anything but Mjolnir. I know he'll use a sword if it's needed, but I know he doesn't really use a sword, so I'm assuming this was supposed to go with the Build-A-Figure, but I'm not 100% sure. And it's also a good piece to have. I think this is the Hindguard sword, if I'm correct. I know on Marvel Select you can get Loki and Thor to create the Hindguard portal sword, and I think that's what this is, but I'm not 100% sure. But that did come with Thor over here. I just keep it with Odin. And this is the version of Odin that I got. There are two versions, one without the helmet, one that's not meant for war, as Sentry did come with the alternate Odin's arms, and Captain Marvel does come with his alternate cape and head. So, it does come with this Poseidon looking staff, and I don't know Thor that much, so laugh at me all you want. I'm really not sure what this is. I know this is how he harnesses the Odin power, but other than that I don't really know what it is. It's just plastic and there's no real paint detail on it, and that's about it. And the cape is removable. It's very hard to handle the figure because it likes to come off a lot. And there's just a hole right here, and then there's the little peg, and you kind of put it on the shoulder, and you gotta work your way down to the hole, and then you'll hair clip in, and there you go. And these arm braces are removable, and they do come off a lot, so if you don't care if he's wearing them or not, like I said, they come off a lot, so you might just want to take them off. It also prohibits some articulation, so it might even be better with them off, but then it does reveal an ugly hole in his shoulder. So taking a look at this figure's articulation in the head, there's really nothing going on in the head. It does turn side to side, but that's about it. And his arm goes out about that much, but be careful, the cape starts to come off once you get too high, and it does go back and forth, and yet again the cape starts to come off. He does have 360 bicep rotation. He does have one of those single jointed elbows that can also simulate an arm break. Does have the 360 at the wrist and a hinge. And his ab crunch with the cape is about that, and about that, and without the cape it's the same forward and just a little farther back. Now, the leg, this is where I'm very careful because these were a pain in the ass to snap in, and they fell out so many times, so I'm always very afraid to move the legs on this figure. So it does come about that far forward, and it's not a lot because it's a soft plastic that can be manipulated, but it's also all around the leg area, so it is hard to move the legs in general, even without them being temperamental and unsnapping. And he does have the little back and forth on that ball joint there. And there is a double joint in the knee, which is also hard to do because the cape, you can't get the second joint because of the way this plastic is. So although it is double jointed, one joint is really all you can get to work unless you want to bend the cape back or manipulate it with a hairdryer or whatever. Then he has just about that much ankle hinge, but he does have a nice ankle pivot. And I gotta say, This Build-A-Figure does stand fairly easily on his own, which is really good. And he holds both accessories. He holds the one that was meant for him and the one that came with Thor. Very good. And as you can see, you can make him sort of place it on the ground or whatever the case may be. He does hold these very good. And yeah, I like to snap that in. There we go. And that is Thor, the Odin son, and Odin himself. And thank you guys for joining me. I'll be heading into the Rhino Build-A-Figure wave review, where we did buy all of them at once. We didn't have the Hawkeye already, so you will be seeing all of them reviewed. And Rhino will have its separate review, unlike Odin and his father together. So, catch you guys.